Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing the technique leap from danger, its execution, some things you should know about its execution, some things that could go wrong, and how to compensate for them. So let's start out with the attack. The attack is from the rear. It's a two-hand push, and it's a committed push. There are two types of pushes that they typically do. One would be one of these, where they're just barely pushing you, and it really doesn't disrupt you hardly at all, and then you can turn around and face your opponent. This is one where they're actually really committed, and you are forced to move, and therefore what you're doing is you're compensating for that disruption in your balance, and then we're going to take advantage of that by going with it and rolling. So from now on, we're going to be going towards the camera. We're going to be backing up a little bit because what we're going to do is we're going to get close to that camera. We may have to gauge a little bit. So if you see us stop and move away from the camera, that's for your benefit, not for chopping up the technique. We're going to try and do it all the way through, but if we do have to gauge, we'll let you know. The couple things that you need to know about this push and the roll that's going to occur. One is I'm not going to do a somersault. In other words, I am not going to keep my head down the center and do a rollover. This is to help protect our head. Next is we're going to be doing a shoulder roll instead. So what we're going to do is we're going to step out with that right foot and do a shoulder roll, but we're going to do it directly towards the camera, and we're not leaving that line of attack. So the final thing that you need to know about this roll is that you could potentially add offenses in it. So as I'm beginning to do this roll, I could, with my left leg, hit their groin or their face as we begin to do the roll. But keep in mind, that's not part of the ideal phase. But if you're so inclined and you're really good at rolls and you like to do it, there are some offensive potentials inside this technique. So let's start out with that push and the roll. We're going with it, and then we're facing our opponent. Notice I am now on the center line with this opponent. Let's back up just a little bit so you can see it. So this person is continuing to come towards me. So what we're going to do is get off that line of attack and then take advantage of it. So this is not a push and then a stop. This is a push. They see you continue to go, and then now you're going to take advantage of the fact that they're continuing to wait forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be stepping off to my left rear flank. It could be anywhere from my left flank to my left rear flank, depending upon the gauge of this opponent. So if they stopped way back there, even potentially I could step off to my left front flank and do that roundhouse kick. So I could go anywhere from left front flank to left rear flank. The ideal phase is the left rear flank. So keep that in mind. We're going to get that kick to the groin because we're obeying the rule of do not kick a standing man above the waist. And notice what happens. That could theoretically stop their forward momentum, or they could continue to go forward. So the follow-up kick could be done in the same way. It could be done from the right front flank to the right rear flank, depending upon what's happening with this opponent. Again, the ideal phase says you stop this opponent and you're going to that right front flank. So we're going from left front flank to right front flank. So keep in mind also that what we're going to do is we're going to be going from a circular of the roundhouse to a linear of the back kick. So as we do this kick, what we want to do is we want to gauge to where we need to go with this opponent, and then get our line, and then shoot the back kick to send them sailing, and then you cross out and cover. Okay? So keep that in mind. Circle to line, and you want to get rid of them, not push yourself away. So what you want to do is use that rotation to get that line to push. So one more time, we're going to walk through it. Keep in mind that what's going to happen here, it's a committed push. We're going to do a shoulder roll, not a somersault. We're going to stay on the line of attack, not get off the line of attack. Now that we're on the line of attack, we're facing our opponent. We step off the line of attack to gauge where we need to be. Do that roundhouse kick, gauge again. So in this case, notice now I'm going to have to kick to my right, what was my right front flank, in order to get rid of them, and then cross out and cover. That's because they continued their forward momentum. So one more time, slightly faster. We're going to back up a little bit more so that you can see the technique without any explanation. Up. Hope this video helps you. Thank you very much.